because the USDA says genetically modified hemp plant containing 0% THC can be grown in the United States of America.
What?
Yes. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, the USDA Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services, APHIS, has approved a genetically modified hemp plant engineered by Growing Together Research Incorporated that has reduced THC and cannabichromene, CBC levels. The agency said it reviewed the plant to determine whether it posed an increased plant risk compared to other varietals. In its letter to the USDA, Growing Together notes that the plant contains 0% THC, which would reduce farmers' risk of growing so-called hot crops, which creates an economic and regulatory risk to farmers who want to grow hemp. Growing Together noted in a press release last year announcing the cultivar that from 2018 to 2020, more than 10% of planted hemp acreages was so-called hot. Yes. USDA through APHIS regulates the movement of organizations modified or produced through genetic engineering under the Plant Protection Act of 2000. In a letter to Growing Together, APHIS Deputy Administrator Bernadette Juarez said the agency found this modified hemp is unlikely to pose an increased plant pest risk compared to other cultivated hemp. And as a result, she wrote, it is subject to regulation under the Plant Protection Act. And from a plant pest risk perspective, this hemp may be safely grown and bred in the United States. Well, cannabis just went GMO, you guys. I can't wait to hear what you guys all have to say about this. And this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News Hour. What do y'all have to say? And we got Rico. He's got a purple shirt with a purple background today. Look at that.
Better hurry up and go get rid of all that THC before it kills somebody.
Right?
I like the GMO.
You like the GMO?
I like the GMO.
You like the
I like
GMO.
how it's GMO. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only do we have some legit cannabis that's GMO, we actually have hemp that's GMO now. So, like, can we get Burner or somebody to do like a GMO hemp cross?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm just saying. Then we would have like a true
Dad
GMO
joke.
genetic.
I mean,
Dad, we jokes.
I wonder who owns this. I wonder who owns this company. I wonder if it's Monsanto or Cargill.
Pfizer.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I hate the idea of modifying anything that has to do with any form of cannabis. Cannabis is perfect the way it is. Leave it alone.
Yes.
Yep.
100% agree. Listen, why are we even messing with this at all? This is like one of those Dan Brown books right here where you mess with the hemp and then it comes back and it eats all your children.
It might happen. It might be. It might happen. I mean, you know what I mean? It might all of a sudden turn AI hemp and, you know what I mean? All of a sudden just start killing everybody.
Take over the world.
Yeah.
Angry hemp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's already going to taste like boof, so you're not going to want to smoke it. So what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, what are they going to do with it?
Exactly.
What are they going to do with it?
If you cross GMO with GMO, do you get organic?
Oh, boy.
Two negatives make a positive.
Two negatives do equal a positive. That is true
Yes.
for anyone that took basic math. But I will say this in regards to this. I wonder, because ultimately most of these hemp farmers are cultivating for CBD, so they can turn that into isolate and then repurpose it into Delta 8 and all these other HHC and all these funny little compounds and whatnot. And so I just wonder if this new strain varietal is going to produce as much CBD as so-called hot hemp.
Is there any positive to that at all?
I think there's tons of positives to this, Rico. Are you serious?
I mean,
Maybe paint us the picture that you see, Jay.
let me play devil's advocate. Maybe they're growing a hemp that can grow in regions that are susceptible to drought. I don't know. Like maybe it really does have a legitimately cool scientific reason. I still don't like it.
I don't believe that it has a legitimate scientifically cool reason, because they specifically noted in there that this was strictly to help farmers to make sure that they were not growing hot hemp. And so it was
So it's
strictly
like DEA hemp.
strictly for that purpose.
Right.
Oh, welcome,
Weird.
Gretchen.
It's
Sorry.
Gretchen.
Good morning.
Good.
Yes.
I
Gretchen.
was out in my garden.
You were out
I was
in the
doing stuff
garden.
in my garden.
You're out in the outdoors, huh?
I was pruning my rose bushes, and
They have gardens out
Got
there
that.
in DC. I didn't know
I
that.
have an amazing garden, Luke Scaramazzo. I'll be happy to take you on a tour of it later if
I
you'd like to
would love
FaceTime
that.
my garden.
I would love that.
It'll take about 30 seconds, but it's an amazing one.
I know a few other guys that would love to see what's in your garden, Gretchen.
Oh, shut the
Gretchen's garden.
Yes. Oh,
Suck
man.
it.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any GMO hemp in that garden, Gretchen?
No, not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
I wonder if they would put some of this GMO hemp into the botanical garden out there in D.C., Gretchen.
Are we
That's
complaining
probably
about
the only
GMO
thing you
stuff?
should really do.
Well, yeah. So the USDA has approved a hemp varietal strain of GMO hemp that produces 0 THC, they say.
Okay, to pretend that any plant nowadays is not really GMO is kind of silly. They're all genetically modified in some way or another. Don't give me that look, Stone Slade.
What
You
about
and
your
window sill
roses?
booth.
Are your roses
Yeah, I'm
genetically
sure they
modified?
are.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Are you kidding?
They're
Yeah.
GMO to be redder than red?
Probably the most genetically modified flower in our society, the rose.
I used
I
to
don't
work
know.
on GMO labeling standards years ago, and that's when it was like a scary thing. Now it's just like, oh, everything we eat is GMO. Suck it up.
I have a
accept
question.
it,
I have a
deal with
question.
it.
Is it scary? Is it scarier because it was a new thing, and now because there's so much of it, you're kind of like desensitized to it? It's not just as scary as it
I
was
would say,
before.
I mean, that was like 15 years ago when I was doing that, working on it in the beginning, and that was. So yeah, I mean, everyone hates Monsanto, which with good reason.
Mhm.
But there's plenty to pretend that plants and especially major crops have not been genetically modified in some way or another is naive.
Naivete.
I don't know. Listen, I'm going to tell you a little quick story, Gretchen. I climbed one
can't
of the
wait.
highest hills in Eastside Modesto, and I found this purple plant right there.
Uh-huh.
And it's the only strand that was around, never been touched by man until we brought it to market. You will be able to find it soon. I'm not going to tell you where, but it is not modified by any human being. This is
Is
God's gift
Yeah.
to
Is this some marketing
nature.
bullshit?
It sounds like some marketing bullshit to me. Totally, yeah.
I'm just going to leave it there. We're not going to tell anybody. Little teaser. Jay will have the scoop when it happens.
The scoop will be
Rare
here live.
strand in the hills of Eastside Modesto.